Yeah. Hello and welcome to this Warno 4v4 cast. Today we've got a 4v4 on Mount River. It's with tactical income, so 0.75 times. Well, I suppose tactical's 0.5 actually. It's with 0.75 times income and 1,000 starting points. 4v4 on this map, which you can play in a 1v1. So I feel bad for NATO, let's put it that way. Looking at the teams, we've got 82nd Airborne, played by Revival, 2nd UK, played by Crusader, 2nd Panzergren, played by Hippie, and Jackson Kennedy playing 24th US. Up against Lego Chow, Pecky, 2 Towers, 1 Plane, and Sergeant Vackhammer, so Team Anime, back at it again. And they're playing 27Y, 56Y, 6Y, and Rugener. A lot of people say, why do you say Y? Because it's basically just Russian for TH, so, 11th, 27th, whatever. I say Y because I think it's funny, but also I used to play in a Mountain Blade Napoleonic Wars regiment, and so that's a game set in the Napoleonic Wars, and you have one musket, right, and you stand in a line and you shoot the other guys, and we used to play rounds and stuff like that, and we would always call, because some of the divisions, so 77Y was the famous one, led by Malekith, and we would call them 77Y. So when I started playing this game and they're called, 27Y or 27YA, I just call them 27Y because that's what I'm used to. People always had funny names in that game. The favorite one I ever saw was 61E underscore USS Liberty Incident, which I just thought was absolutely hilarious. It was probably the funniest name I've seen in that. Anyway, looking at the deployments, I expect NATO to have the advantage at the start, but given how massive these zones are, they probably won't actually be able to push Red all the way out of one of these zones, because the zones are just too big. And so I think NATO's start will not pay off. I've not seen the game, I don't know what happens, but that's my assumption, that NATO's going to go hard in on the forward deployment, and indeed we see that, and they actually won't be able to secure a whole extra zone. So they might have some forward deployed CVs, and indeed they do. Although these guys have just brought a tracked one, so they'll get some early points. But I reckon as it gets later and later, these guys are going to win, because PACT on a map that's like 2 inches wide with rivers blocking, everything, like the map is undersized, and so there's nowhere to hide from the MLRS spam. They've only got 1 fob between the 4 of them, though, so that's weird. Anyway, looking at the deployment, so I suppose I already have, we've got 82nd going for the middle, and he will get there. And then 2nd UK on the left, he's only opened 1 SAS, which is really weird. Typically, you'd want to open lots of SAS, but they're playing on reduced income, so it's 1,000 points, 0.75 times, so you get fewer units, but I'd definitely be not opening Challenger 2 no vet. I mean, I had a game recently, a cast game, you know what I mean. I've talked about this before. Never, ever, 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 ever bring the Challenger Mark II at no vet, because it's basically the worst heavy tank in the game. In real life, it's the best one, right? But in the game's made in France, so the Challenger's terrible. And it's got a very low base rate of fire. When you start losing cohesion, you lose rate of fire. I'm pretty sure it goes down by like 75% at low cohesion. No, that's accuracy. It still goes down a lot. And so if it's already low, it gets lower and lower and lower and lower. And then you just lose any fight. In fact, the Challenger tends to lose any fight anyway, because it's really slow, and and the gun on it has been nerfed, and yeah, it's just very, very slow. And so in order to stand a fighting chance, you've got to bring it at 1 vet. So bringing it at no vet, massive waste of time. I see that bug still in the game where I've got sticky selection whenever I watch a replay. So SAS going down the wrong road. So if you wanted to start it here, I think it would be better to put it on this road. But if he was going there, it would be better to put it on this road. Or he could basically, when you turn, you lose time. So losing time, losing time, losing time, losing time. So it's best, if he wanted to really get down there, he should have put it on this road, right? and then pathed it to here, and then took over, and then pathed it in there, because you've got nicer bends, which means you slow down less. It's a small thing, but it can make the difference between winning and losing. And he's backed it up with a mortar for smoke. Very happy to see that. That's good. Air mobile gun groups, great. L6 Wombat, terrible. The worst SPG in the game by a country mile. You need 16 pen to one-shot a 2-armor vehicle. This has 15, so it doesn't one-shot a 2-armor vehicle, such as an SPW-70 on the front, which we don't actually see any, which is weird, because one of them is playing 6Y8. Oh, there we go. So look, 2 front armor, it won't one-shot this. And it's got terrible accuracy. The range is the same as the rest, even though it's a chucking 120mm shell. The suppression is less, even though it's chucking 120mm shell. Rate of fire is bad. It's the worst SPG in the game. Don't bring it. You should just bring a Milan 1 if you really want that fire support, and you've got warriors if you actually want to hurt infantry. So, yeah, I've got very itchy eyes today, I guess. I don't know what to say. And, yeah, and then some, you know... I think you should just have 3 SAS. The snipers, I don't think they're very good. I mean, they are good in that if you get into a good spot, it's really hard to spot them. So if you just turn the weapons off, then you can sit there all game, and that's really good. But I think you should have gone for 3 SAS, because 1 can't shoot down a plane, 2 often shoots down a plane, 3 always shoots down a plane, whatever plane they send. So you just use that, and then you don't need AA until they all die. On the right, we already spoke about the 82nd, sort of standard massive attack, you know, airborne dragons, no short range airborne, but basically the dragon got changed, and now it can shoot in forests, and it's got 18 pen, which one-shots a 4-armor vehicle. Sadly, he's against the one guy who's got the more than 4-armor IFVs. He's got the BMP3s. So 2 shots to take that out. But he's got the Humvitos. It's a decent opener. He's got the Avengers. Here, you really do need a mortar for smoke. Although if you've got toe superiority, then you probably don't need it. But yeah, hopefully the toes are... He's got 3 of those. Oh, that's a terrible deployment of them. You want 1 here so it can shoot down the road. 1 here so it can also shoot down the road. And and you don't really need a 3rd one, but if you were gonna, I would put an extra one here. Because if you put them here, for starters, the trees are blocking you, and you're entering enemy anti-tank gun range, or enemy tank gun range. You could put 1 here as well. Obviously, you've already got 1 here. You only need 2. You know, really, you could get away with 1. Anyway, the 24th player is... Where's all his points? Okay, so he's opened Apache, which probably explains it. And, like, so the second player brought a rapier, but if he just got 3 SAS, he wouldn't need that. Like, the points are better spent on the SAS. He's opened FOB, which will help his team, although he's put it in a weird spot. You want it on a road, basically, like here. Back here would be great. And typically you actually want it in the open, not in trees, because if you right-click on it with your Apache, it will try and resupply. But if it's in trees, it just spazzes out, and it just flies over the trees. It doesn't land next to it and resupply. Whereas if you got it back here, or here would be great, because it's on a road, and it's in the open, and then you right-click it with the Apache, and then right-click, like shift right-click back over here, it'll come back over here. But yeah, he just doesn't seem to have very much. I mean, I guess it's because it's 1,000 starting points, and he's bought this, and he's bought that, and that's like, you know, almost 500 there. And then, you know, 600, and then, yeah, 800. I think he's going to have a plane. We'll see. And then you got the second player opening 10 trillion Milan 2s and FS Jaeger. I mean, really, you'd want somebody in here. Yeah, the recon. You'd want a Milan 2 in there, really. I think that's too many Milan 2s. You want more stuff. And it looks like he's got some Fliegerfaust, which I'd be opening like Rome 3, I guess. None of these guys get Eyehawks, so... No, actually, second Panzer does get Eyehawks. Second Panzer should have bought an Eyehawk and put it like here. And then he can cover most of the map with his Eyehawks and protect his team. Switching to their opponent's deployment. So we've got Pecky on the left playing 56Y. And he's opening with a bunch of infantry. That's a very, very aggressive deployment, considering he doesn't have forward deployment. But this guy's kind of wasting his deployment. Like, the FS Jaeger should be here, here. He's put him too far back. So this actually has a pretty decent chance of working. Although if he tried this against somebody who was a bit more competent, all these guys would just die in the open. So yeah, lots of heavy infantry, high HP infantry backed up by ATGMs, which he's put there. Okay, I guess he can shoot down that road. A couple Iglas. And a CV. Then we've got Vac Hammer, playing Rugener, so you would assume that he would be the one. Oh, and we've got 2 mortars here, we've got 4 mortars here, which is a lot. That's probably a bit excessive. I mean, that's actually, yeah, that's not a good idea. So if you want to smoke, 1 mortar, right? If you want to kill the enemy who is in front of you, 56Y gets grads. So really, there should be 2 fobs on this team, and everybody that can bring, like Lego Chow should have a fob, and he should bring 4 grads and just level all of this the whole game. 2 towers, 1 plane here. He's brought a fob, which Lego Chow should use. I mean, the giant S thing can use it, but also it should really be for the grads. And 56Y can bring grads as well, full grads, not the half grads. You can bring both, but the full grads are better. So they should really be spamming the MLRS. Because look at the map. The map, there's just nowhere to hide. The map has suffered from severe deforestation as a result of Balance Man. And this is played as a 1v1 map, or it was before Balance Man removed it from the pool because he personally didn't like it. And they're playing a 4v4 on it, so that the unit density is going to be very, very high, and you need to lean into that and use the grads if you want to win, and if you want to have fun watching your enemy suffer. Which I thought that's what Warno is all about. So 6YA can do a very funny push with Vopos. Rugener can do a very funny push with Vopos and SPW-70s backed up by Iglas in sort of open-topped SPW-70s. He's instead opted to just buy 8 Mott Shots of BTR, which will probably have a similar effect, but there's a better way of doing it. And, you'll note that the guys are all wheeled, but the AA is tracked. So if the enemy just buys a Mega Waffle 1, he's going to kill all your stuff, and you're not really going to be able to do anything about it. So that's where that wheeled Igler AA comes in, and that's the disadvantage with buying these tracked things. I personally think this is garbage. Maybe you have some success with it. We've got Lego Chow here opening with 27Y, so 2 towers, 1 plane opening with books. But yeah, basically the books should be like he's being a bit rude to his team there. He's obviously covered himself very well, but if he puts it here, or even back a bit, so it just gets smacked, then sadly I can show you the range, but I can't show you the range and move it around. But you see that range, right? Look how wide it is on the screen. If he put that there, it would cover the whole width of the map, and his team could benefit from that. But really, the Rugener guy should be buying 2 Krugs and putting them. Obviously, if you put them over the water, then it might get shot. So you could put them back a little bit, like here and here, and then you'd cover the whole map. But he can buy those later. This thing, I prefer the one with all the guns on it. It can work. We'll see how well it goes. But yeah, so he's opened mortar for smoke. Oh, 2 mortars. They're going to exactly the same place, which you don't want to do because the same counter battery will kill both of them. And the Tunguska, no, never mind, that's the 6Y player. BMP3s, yeah. Razvedka, yeah. I mean, basically, this div is quite slow off the mark. And that's, to be expected. But yeah, I think he should have gone a fob and then start slowly buying grads over the course of the game. Don't buy too many, but like 1 near the start. The 56Y player especially in the first tick, if he wants to do this, instead of buying all those mortars, get 1 maybe. 2 if you really need them, and then in the first tick buy a grad and hit that, because you'll actually be here roughly after a minute. Like the attack will just be starting and then you can grad him. We'll see. Anyway, some CVs. I've actually noticed there's no CV here. No, never mind, there's a Belzer. So yeah, this CV will take quite a long time to cap everything, depending on how well they're microing it. And yeah, so quite a slow opener from 27Y. I'll be honest, he's probably not going to make it this far. He's probably going to get shot by those toes, although the toes are going to weird places. And yeah, so last but not least, 2 towers, 1 plane. Opening with 6th, and he's got, oh, he's the one who bought the book. He's got a lot of AA, but not a lot of units. But yeah, 6Y is also quite slow off the mark. I mean, really, you might want to, because these are like mainly infantry, and these are both mainly tanks. You should probably swap one. It doesn't really matter which one you swap. Having 56Y on the edge sort of makes sense, because this guy has really good AA, so he's in the middle. That makes sense. And, well, 6th Y should probably be here. Lego Chow should probably be here, and the no, hang on. How would you do this? 6Y should probably be here. Vac Hammer on his Rugener should probably be here, and Lego Chow should probably be on the edge. It's not a big deal. It's just something to consider. So we'll cast the game, and we'll do it from this perspective. Right, so they're off, and it's time for me to thank the generous channel joiners, generously bankrolling the channel. They get the videos early, they get the names on the screen, they get members exclusive videos. I've had a lot of people ask me about, like, do you offer coaching? I don't, but the closest thing is that at tier 2 and tier 3 channel memberships, I cast one of your games per calendar month. So if you think about it, if you just were to subscribe for 1 month as a tier 2 channel member, for example, you would get a guaranteed 2 casts. Because, you know, if you, unless you literally subscribed on the 1st of December, which somebody did that, which, you know, it's a shame, but so because you would always be overlapping 2 calendar months. So it was the 1st of November, not 1st of December. So yeah, that's the closest thing. So I cast your game, and then you get feedback that way. But I don't offer a proper coaching service. So this the Humvee toes are in an odd spot, but the effect is similar, right? Hopefully he starts moving them around a bit. So 82nd has got the lay of the land here. This SAS is unloading. Just keep in mind that Spetsrazvedka now have... oh, they're the wrong one. I'm thinking of Spetsgruppe A. Now have AT. So he is smoking it, which... it's not really a good idea. So basically, they've bought all this fire support, and now none of the fire support can shoot. What you want to do is smoke behind the line you wish. If you've got if you've got just infantry, right, just a bunch of sappers, smoke in front, smoke the enemy, and just run into it. But if you've got the fire support, you don't want. I mean, where's the mega waffle? But because it's reduced income, they can't afford a mega waffle. It'll take them 2 minutes, and he's just bought something else. If you've got all the fire support, you want to smoke behind the enemy's first line, and then leave the fire support back a bit, go forth, and conquer with the fire support shooting, and the enemy's, like, rear line unit. So if you smoked here, here, and here, then, yeah, you could run in and use the fire support. Obviously, there's not really anybody here to stop them, but against, like, a more determined adversary, that would be a good idea. So, sadly, they went for a Jaguar cluster instead of the Mega Waffle. And F-16 takes out the Tunguska, but I think the book's probably going to kill that, actually. Because it's very high accuracy. 55%. No, second one misses, gets too far away. Was that because he was on an attack move? Might have been, I don't know. But, yeah, so the Jaguar cluster was a panic buy and not very intelligent. He should have gone for warriors and put the warriors back here. But, yeah, this seems to be working. Over on this side, yeah, the 82nd player predictably is winning the opener. Although the fire team laws from Jackson Kennedy have unloaded too early here. The thing is though that Sprut doesn't have anti-tank missiles. Never mind. 2 towers, 1 plane is about to get the CV in, but yeah, over here this is just collapsing. And yeah, it's worth noting that these do go on water, bottle of water, and. Yeah, this is like opening 10 trillion Milan 2s. Honestly, they obviously didn't know the enemy was just going to smoke everything. he needs to move these up. You see, they've actually exceeded their ranges, and now they're just walking, but they're really slow, so they're not meeting the speed of the advance. But the... I can't remember what I was saying now. Yeah, so he bought loads of Milan 2s, and then they smoked it all, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, the Mega Waffle could have got a lot of kills there, so it's a big shame. Would have liked to have seen that. The guy is on the right, the blue guys on the right are doing a good job, although... Okay, I was going to say, if that's the only CV, this is not going to be great. I think the book is dead. Yeah, I think it's dead. And I don't think this is what killed it. So, yeah, Crusader's doing a good job against 2 towers, 1 plane here. You see he's moving his guys forwards and backwards. He's bringing up the fire support. He's ran down here. He's mixed, because Air Mobile Gun Group don't have AT, so he's putting arm rifles with them. So he's doing a good job using everything, utilising his units. And you see he's also sending a Rover Milan down to here. I'm loving the, like, people are starting to use smoke and mortars a lot more, and I'd like to take at least partial credit for that. I feel like people are listening to me. Basically, attacking in this game is the hardest thing to do, because in real life, right, if you want to attack a position, you would have a 3-to-1 force supremacy, and you would do, like, artillery preparation for 2 weeks or something. Drop a bunch of fab 1500s on them, and then you would go forwards, and you would take, like, 10 meters. Whereas in this game, both teams get the same amount of points. So you're attacking, but you don't have force supremacy. You can sort of blob your guys up and get local superiority. But basically, ATGMs are really OP as well. Like, the way they... the suppression on them is a lot higher than it used to be. This guy was a bit mismicroed, should have stuck a bit further here. He probably still would have died. But they're making the cardinal sin, which is they're advancing, and they're not moving their AA up to support the advance. So I think at this point they should stop advancing, and, like, certainly running across the open field is not intelligent at all. Hippie, clearly named after me, has made the intelligent decision of just buying a bunch of light tanks and just putting them in this line, and now these guys can't get over there. But what they can do with this is you smoke this, and then you run all these guys into here, because you know the CV's in there, because you had a guy here and he wasn't there, right? On this side, because these are 2 slow divs against 2 fast divs, and so they've been rinsed, which you would expect at the start. So if they'd swapped this, whereas these 2 fast divs have beaten, you know, a somewhat fast div and a slow div. Hang on, Hippie is second, yeah. What? Oh, I see, okay. But who was the other guy who was supposed to be here? It was Jackson Kennedy, but I'm not sure what he's spending... I guess he's over here. So this is just 1 guy. And this is 3 guys. Okay, I mean, I guess it makes a lot more sense now, actually. But yeah, now blue need to get some ATGMs in here, stuff like that, because the other problem you've got is people can get in here from this side, and certainly, like, this Bradley should be here, put that tow to work. That Dragon's doing a good job. And A-10 Rocket is dead, and like, this only has 10% stabilizer. In fact, I don't actually think it has any stabilizer in this game, whereas in real life, the whole point of the Tor is that it can fire while moving. The Tor in Broken Arrow actually looks really cool and works, whereas the Tor in Warno is it just makes you sad. I mean, it's just like it's just a glorified OSA, basically. Well, it's actually worse, I think. Anyway, Jackson Kennedy, yeah, he started... So we were expecting this to happen eventually. Certainly putting the CV next to them might sound like a good idea, but at this point, yeah, it's gonna not be. So blue doing a great job there, but getting rinsed here. Although red, you know, they really need to sneak their infantry round here and sort this out. But instead they just kind of ran... I don't know what the plan was there, just run across the field. This revival guy's airplay is really good. He's sending the seed out first, and his opponents aren't really, like, that should have been switched off immediately. His opponents aren't really responding to that properly, which is weird, because red should have Krugs out, and the Krugs should be very far away, and certainly there goes the seed. They got Krugged. The Krugs are out. So yeah, the Krugs should be like beyond feed range essentially. Sadly, we can't check the range of that anymore, but the Krugs have 6,000 meters on that, so he'd have to dive you. And there's now sort of an overabundance of AA, which is hurting them. And yeah, it's an interesting game. Certainly Red needs to sort this out, and he's got so much amphibious stuff. I mean, we saw all those SPWs and these PT-76s. They could just go across there and kill that, but I guess their main concern is getting in here on this way, and that is working, so I guess that works as well. But I think once they get a CV in here, they really need to clear this out. And, you know, you put some guys here, you get those SPWs over. This thing's really funny. And yeah, the blue air is just... It just doesn't scale, particularly on such a narrow map. Although we don't see any grads yet. That's all. Oh, this is terrible. Never, ever, ever buy this. So this is just so bad. So basically, it's just false trailers on a truck, right? But the point is that for like 10 points more, I mean, this has come down in price a lot because of how bad it is. You can get the Spag one. It's called like the WL50 something. It's on the same line as this, and it's a lot better. But yeah, I guess Red's play worked. Squeeze this. But yeah, it's a shame because if they'd used their momentum here a bit better instead of just running across the field and dying, they could have got those SPWs and just, you know, you could smoke and you can actually just walk over there. You could smoke and run over, or you can actually use the amphibious, which we saw him do, but he did it in the wrong place. And you see, like, this is the kind of reason that the you know, this is why PACT should win on this map, particularly on a 4v4, because there should just be a grad hitting all this. There should be a grad hitting all this. But yeah, instead they're smoking and running in, which... I mean, really, blue should have some units here to stop that. But, like, one wonders what the point of this is. Like, the blue has all this. I think the idea would have been much better spent taking this. So here we go. This has a range of 450, which is really good. For some reason, the harm has red pen on 20, whereas, you know, like, this is 19, it's green. Just, they like to confuse people. But the Krugs have a lot of range. Like, that's the Krug. You can't even see the edge of the circle. Blimey. Is it because it's switched off? No, it's here. Do you see that? From there, it shoots all the way over there. Yeah, he's left them off, and so okay, so now he should switch it back on, and he is, and he might get that. No, I was gonna say he should, but not really. And then you switch it back off again, and you move him, and then as soon as he shows his back, you switch him back on again, and then you switch him off again, and eventually you're gonna hit him. What blue should really be doing is MLRSing this. So, finally some MiG-31s out. Is that what we saw there? From 6Y. That's certainly a better proposition than just buying 10 million bucks, right? Let the Krug guy do that. And this went about as well as you'd expect. I mean, really, they should be leaning into the grads instead of just walking across fields into enemies. Just grad it first, then do it, if you really want to do it. But yeah, they are doing some mortaring. Like, blue should really have a howitzer up and just kill all these mortars. There's so many mortars. You just put it on counter battery and just let it rip, and it'll get... Oh, he's actually doing that. It will eventually get them all. But it's strange to me that red is focusing on the mortars rather than their advantage. Blue needs to stop pushing, basically, and just defend for a little bit. Certainly, there could be a couple more tanks here. I like having the anti-tank and the Pioneer here to stop that coming across. That's just a waste of points. These tanks aren't really doing anything. They could support this if you really want. And then you can send them back if they counter-attack, right? That's sort of the idea. But yeah, the lack of grads is very concerning. CV spotted, but it should be able to just get away. And, you know, red are now going to be running into airborne, and there should be Like, you know, the Apache should get healed, these should get healed, and you just leave them all back here. And here we go, they finally put some stuff here as well, so they're shooting across at it. Certainly, the Red's teamwork is a lot better. Like, there's 3 people attacking this axis. So they might be able to take it. I don't think Blue's done a good job of defending it. This Meep, you turn the cover off and you put it on the road, and then it's got a nice long sight line down the road. Obviously, it's been smoked from it, but... And yeah, the Apache's doing alright. There's no recon here, so they're just sort of running in and dying. The Apache is dead. Should have been a little bit further away, I suppose. Look, the fasters they paid for themselves. But yeah, Red is not going to get very far here, particularly if, like, they had the fire superiority with all the T-72s and the T-62s, but they decided to smoke, which, like, if you've got fire superiority, you don't want to smoke where you're going. Anyway, over here, this is going a lot better. Blue's a bit overextended here, and yeah, you know, Revival, he's still buying the planes, bless him, but it's just not going to work. PACT AA is too good, and particularly on a map as small as this, you just, eventually they just, you know, like, this has got its guns switched off so it can still fire its missiles. I don't know why he switched his missiles off. Oh, I see, he just switched the whole thing off, and now he's switching it all back on. That will eventually die. Not sure what happened there. So these should be going for that AA. They should have gone for the Bucks, and they probably would have killed him. But yeah, the Sneed play is good. I mean, they're doing a lot of sneeding. Certainly, you want to back it up with artillery. Oh, he is. But that's more a job for the MLRS. But now I think they're buying a bit too much artillery. There's way too much arty there. Wow, yeah, it's definitely too much. They need a bit more on the ground. You'll note there's not much here. Like, they've been pushed out of this. You see, yeah, you know, Blue could take the opportunity to try and probe this a little bit and get some hits, but it's not going to be easy. Like, he has actually moved these up. He could get them to here and just try and pull some pressure off with the units you've got. But, like, one wonders what the point of this is. So Red, they get here, and then what? Blue just continues to reinforce through this forest. Red has to reinforce over the open ground. But yeah, Red have got 5 guys on this zone, and Blue are just buying arty, which is sort of typical, really. But it's not a good idea. So here you go. So you see that when the smoke isn't covering them, they can kill them. But the smoke is actually benefiting the defender here, because they have the fire support. The attacker has the fire support, but he can't use it. So if you wanted to take this, what you would do is you would smoke here. You'd smoke this, right? And then you would leave all your fire support out here, and then you would run in and take it with your infantry. And then the enemy fire support can't fire, but yours can, at the place that you're trying to go. And then if you want, then you can smoke the next chunk, but obviously your fire support can't shoot when they're in the forest. So they took that, sort of, but not really, right? Because the airborne could just run back in through the smoke. Having said that, you know, Blue's decision to buy 10 million artillery at once is really not working out here. You see, they've just not got much left. And yeah, all the arty, like, look, he's buying even more. Really not smart at all. They're just throwing away their advantage here. And Red are just buying, well, yeah, they're just buying ground stuff. I mean, never mind, they've also bought some RT. Like, where are the grads? I don't get it, man. I mean, this just shouldn't be the... Obviously, Rugener doesn't get them, but really, the grad users should be getting grads. The Giant S for 6th is probably better than the Uragan. Probably nothing, definitely better. But certainly 56Y and 27Y. Like, 27Y should have 4 grads. In a 4v4, you won't... If you've got a teammate who can buy a fob... Right, if you've only got 1 fob, only bring 2. But if you've got 2 fobs, bring 4. And then those should just be going in all game, all game. Hit all this, hit all this, hit all this. Like, look how clumped up they are. But, you know, what can I say? So, looks like the Giant wakes. No, never mind. I really do feel like Red would find it a lot easier to push this than to run across this field with all that infantry. But it looks like it will eventually work. I mean, that's obviously just a tragedy. Just walking them across without any fire support. And yeah, here comes the Steel Rain. Looks really cool, doesn't do a whole lot. Although, the MLRS HE is alright. The cluster one is pretty decent against tanks, but it's really weird to see that blue are playing the thing that red's better at, and red are playing the thing blue's better at. So, like, yeah, I've said it enough times. There should be grads here. And you see the problem here? This can't actually get in there because he's put it so far back. I think if he lands there, he might be... Yeah, he's not getting it. Bro is buying a cat seers. Many such cases, I'm afraid. Buy the grad. Please. Hopefully we see at least one grad this game. But yeah, I mean, look how clumped up this is. What is this play? Like, this is where you need the guys. What's the advantage of doing this? I mean, you're just gonna eat rounds of artillery. Well, look. Yeah. It's something. So yeah, these mortars have been able to fire unmolested basically the whole game. There should be 4 of them, but there's only... No, there are 4. One of them's bugged out. If you put them too close to the vehicles, it doesn't work properly, look. There's one that's not firing. Is he firing? No, he isn't firing. So, like, those should have been counter-battery a long time ago. There's a lot of arty here. And, yeah, the Eagle's doing the work. Typically that should be, yeah, 8 seconds objective, but... Like, trying to use air on a map this narrow, although, yeah, Hippie has bought an iHawk, and he is buying more now. So, yeah, more smoke. And you just wonder, like... I mean, I can understand that they might sneak a CV in there, but that's the perfect thing, that if they sneak a CV in there, you just grab it. Like, this is... You know, if you don't want to go in over here, then this is what you would go for with all that infantry, you know, because you can move them up a bit more in cover. You can take this, you can take this, take this. But, you know, it seems to be working anyway. It's just sort of less efficient. So, over here, not much is really happening. That's going to whiff its shot now because it's leaving the district. Oh, never mind. I'm very silly. And they finally got some recon up here. I really do think blue could do a number on all this. Certainly with all that artillery, just move this forward, spot. Like, this, there's always somebody in here. You can hit that for free. You don't even have to wait till you see a guy. So Marine Pioneers and Saperi, so this is the kind of thing that you do a smoke attack for with the Marine Pioneers and the Saperi. But, yeah, I think it's just kind of a waste of time. Like, look at that. That's such a juicy grad hit there. And you know he's in here, right? And you know he's in here as well. Like, you just grad all this instead of running in. Like, blue's playing it properly. They've got all the fire support back here. He gets in the tower, he dies, right? Although, having said that, some of this should really be up here helping out the team. But yeah, attacking's hard. And, yeah, these mortars are still firing. Like, he's going for this stuff, which, yes, that's... Obviously, there is somebody there. This should be pulled back as soon as it spots somebody. It shouldn't just be sticking around. Strike Eagle, I mean, yeah. Oh, he sent a seed out with it as well, so that's intelligent. It's probably why it survived, actually. I was going to say, I expect that to die. Did the Krugs get sneeded? I think they did. I don't see them. And, yeah, red intent on buying every piece of artillery except their best one. I do like this from blue. I think, so certainly on a map this narrow, you want to be sneaking somebody through here. And you see that this is actually... I mean, it's a road to here, and then you can sort of sneak through here. It's clear that they wanted to put a road there at some point, and then you can get up to here, and then you can try and get in that way. I mean, it takes ages, but you've got the time. Another thing you can do is, you know, labs over to here and then amphibious lab across, and then you can, like, this is smart. He might see the fob, which is actually going to be huge if he sees the fob. They need to solve this right now. This has been trying to resupply there the whole game, but it can't. So he needs to buy a truck, put the truck here, and then it should feed into it. And he will see the fob, I think, before the Shilka kills him. The question is he paying attention? Because, like, he's not pinged it. No, he has. He was paying attention. No, that was the enemy pinging it. That was Lego Chow pinging it. So I don't think they saw it. Don't think he noticed. If the arty comes in, then obviously he did, right? Oh yeah, he did see it. So there goes the fob. Which was in the wrong place anyway. And you see sometimes these fast moves just kind of bug out. Here we go. It's finally found a. I mean, it's actually technically outside the circle, but looks like that they're just loading it straight into this tail rotor here. So yeah, you better load it up because it's about to explode. And yeah, this is a very interesting fight. Certainly, that's 80 seconds bread and butter. The Strike Eagle should not be diving deep like that. Oh, the Krug gets it, man. And then the Seed could... whatever. And then he surrendered when he lost his Strike Eagle, which is pretty funny. So certainly, like, the 82nd player should be winning this fight. With all his engineers and his airborne. Oh, it's been taken over by the AI now. That's why those tanks are doing that. This is his bread and butter. Like, 82nd doesn't scale properly at all. But if your enemy makes a nice little place for you to have an infantry fight, then yeah, that's fantastic news. I'm not such a huge fan of the F-16HE, but he got the CV there. There are, of course, more. Lots more. And yeah, Blue are playing too much air on such a narrow map. Like, the artillery kind of makes sense, but I think they bought a bit too much of it. Well, we got that, but he's probably going to die for it. Lots of Iglas here. Oh, they went for the wrong thing anyway. And Blue CV died. Like, they've got parts of the zone, but they don't have the CV. So Red is starting to catch up now. Sadly... Oh, they're all surrendering. So, sadly the AI takes over. That's actually part of Broken Arrow that's really good, in that it lets you, the human being, take over instead of giving it to an AI, which is honestly terrible at the game, when your teammate leaves. One problem with Broken Arrow is that the availability of your units doesn't go up. So even if you're the last one left, you can still only buy 2 Stinger teams. But yeah, I think that's game. Everybody's leaving. What? Alright. Not game. I guess Hippie wants to fight it out. I can't really see him winning. Like, you'll notice that the AI is now just sending all the artillery forwards and stuff like that. So yeah, you'd expect Red to sweep some zones, although they're sort of just running across the field again. Like, he's actually taken the time to smoke this, but he's not sending the units through there. He's just sending them in the open. But, you know, he's halfway there. Like, he understands the principle. I'm not sure how this happened. Obviously, you can't advance through all that fire. This is being used. Obviously, it's not got many guns, right? But if it switches to the miniguns... No, never mind. Yeah, I'm not sure what to say. I mean... Apparently, 2nd Panzergren wants to stick around and suffer for a bit. So Red should really be advancing. You know, you could probably get in here. But it's just absolutely wild that they've got this map that's so narrow. It's literally played as a 1v1. Or it was, until it was removed for being too much fun. And instead of playing to their strengths and getting all those grads, they... Like, the fob's obviously a smouldering ruin. They didn't. They bought everything other than... every arty piece other than MLRS. It's really weird. I mean, this would all be dead by now, but... Certainly we can expect to see Red getting in there. But yeah, it's a shame Jackson Kennedy was so weak there and left after losing his strike eagle. You know, if he just stuck around, I mean, Blue was winning. They might have been able to hold another 15 minutes. They had a pretty big point advantage. I can hear MLRS. No, it's on the other team. Like, this would be a perfect MLRS spot, but the AI really wants to... Oh, actually, it's probably a good place to shoot. SU-25HE, I know some people like it, I don't. It's so slow, and then, man, I mean, he got critted there anyway, but he wouldn't have made it. So, yeah, so you can, like, smoke here, and then advance into here. I don't understand the mindset. The CV's over here. They must know that because of the way the thing is, you know, bulging out like that. But do they not want to sort that out? Over here, Red's doing a much better job of it. Topaz 2As I do not agree with. They don't even have smoke. I mean, it's got 2 front armor, and it's not actually that much slower than a wheeled vehicle anymore. Like, that's 75, and if we look at where's an SPW 70, is there any left on the field? BTR 70 is the same. This is 100, so it's just 3/4 the speed, so it can work. It can work. I mean, it's 15 points. It can work, but I would prefer. I would prefer some smoke. Like, certainly the FV432's got smoke, and if you can micro it, which I can't, you can save your guys. But yeah, it's a shame the MiG-31s, like the MiG-31s would have been so useful against all this air spam. The AI seems to be coordinating. It's like buying multiple seeds at once. Obviously they're all going to die. These are generally more useful at the start of the game before the enemy AA net gets set up. As you can see, they don't do so great. Right, this just one-shot them because it's got 6 HE missiles and they've only got 6 HP. But yeah, I don't know, Red just keeps suiciding into this. Like, look at that. The AI is actually doing it properly. Actually using amphibious capability. These are finally getting hit. The AI is actually better than, you know... But yeah, where are my grads, bro? Can't believe it. Are we not going to see a grad this game? Not a single grad? Such a good unit. Also, you know, if you've just got one tank here, this doesn't happen, so... Is a Sheridan amphibious? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's an interesting utilization of units. But certainly, like, Red should be moving a CV up here, I think. Well, there were 2 here, and now there's 1, so I assume 1 did get moved up and died, probably, but, like, you know, you just go through here, right? You don't obviously don't walk down the road. You gotta think a bit smarter about it. Like, you don't want tons of units here, because from here they can't really go anywhere, except back across here. So you want a couple of units here, but you want most of them going this way, because this is you can get all the way through here. So it's just a more useful place to be. But yeah, certainly the Arugana player's done a good job. I mean, obviously Red has won, right? So this should solve that problem, although I think this is an autocannon range, which... You want to get back a bit there, but I'm too used to broken arrow helicopters now, which actually work. Unlike Warno ones, which fly like bricks. So yeah, Red, they're in. They need to take a zone. I hope they don't mind. I'm going to speed it up a little bit because, I mean, this ended when all those guys left. So we're just waiting for them to get some CVs in, but I think with only 7 minutes they probably can't. So there you go. Oh, still no MiG-31s. Like, Blue did a really good job with the air, given how narrow the map is. I think their airplay was really good. And I liked the smoke. Sometimes they smoked and it was actually hindering them. Sometimes they smoked and it helped them. You just got to think about your composition, basically. If you have more fire support than your opponent, you want to expose his front line, like say a front line of houses, and smoke off just behind them, and then use all your fire support. If you don't really have any fire support, if it's all just sappers and satchels and flamethrowers and close range rocket launchers, then yeah, you want to smoke the front line of houses, because then you can run in and you've got the advantage in that case. So like the first time they smoked here, it was bad for them because they had all these tanks that couldn't do anything. Then the second time they smoked here, they had a bunch of marine pioneers and sappers, and then they took it. So you know, it does make a difference. So +6 here. Like, what is going on here? You're getting annihilated by the whole AI. It looks like the AI has sent all these guys down here. So, you know. What happened to those T-62s? I guess they all died. So, so yeah, the game is still going on. I mean, certainly it is Hippie's copy of the game. He can choose how he wishes to spend it. But yeah, me personally, if 3 of my teammates had left, I would type GG and I would quit. I certainly don't want the AI on my team. Yeah. I mean, these guys, I guess, could move down here, but it really doesn't matter. That was cool. It's a shame I missed it. Lots of Su-22s doing a cool bombing run there. Got lots of kills, and I didn't see it. And yeah, the smoke is smoking, and these 82mm have just been allowed to do that the whole game. The AI is not using all its howitzers. Oh, these are actually hip arches. The AI is using its howitzers. Yeah, they're just playing for the memes at this point. So yeah, just recapping the game. Key takeaways. Don't put both the infantry guys on one flank and both of the slow guys on one flank, because you saw what happened. The slow guys got pushed out because they are slow. And the infantry guys got to here and then they couldn't get any further because, I mean, they could have come down here, but even then, like, they didn't have any tanks. Because the infantry guys, I mean, they get some tanks, but not great ones. And, you know, they were speccing, they were buying lots of infantry. It's exciting. So that's one thing. And the other thing, you know, if you're PACT, you should really be buying, especially if you're 27Y in a team game with people you know, you should have 2 FOBs and 4 grads, especially on a map this narrow. Apart from that, the smoke thing we already spoke about, and that's game. So GG, Team Anime takes it again. Look at all these anime people. Although it looks like they're also against anime. It's a pretty funny profile picture. And yeah, just looking at the scores on the doors. Alright. Are any of these going to work? I wish they'd fix this, but they don't care. I pointed out to them that I get about 200,000 views a month now, which I thank you very much. I do appreciate that. And so 200,000 people see this every day, this bug, which has been in since day one. And I also pointed, wow, that got a lot of kills. Certainly, yeah, the cluster thing is very good, but aggressive counter battery can take that out, especially that MLRS. Wow, the cluster things did really well there. And I did point that out to them, and I pointed out to them that I've been reporting this bug constantly for about 2 years, because I was added to Strike Team about a year after the game started. And we'll see what happens. So yeah, GG to Team Anime. Certainly it was a shame to see Blue leave, because they were clinging on and they were doing all right, but certainly Anime needs to learn about multiple launch rocket systems. And I will see you in the next one. GG.